and whichever means we can try to disseminate this information. But the catch is, how do we break down this technical jargon and make it as simple as possible for every Zambian to assimilate? And that's our main challenge. So in terms of what crypto assets are, according to FATF, they're just defined as mathematics-based algorithms, which we've been talking about today. So it's just cryptography and currency put together. That's the layman's language. So the normal currency we have, we just want to implement some kind of cryptography as we move it around. As it has been explained, cryptography is basically an algorithm that makes information not readable as it's being transmitted via public medium. An example I got some time back was, if I want to send a message to say Muka who's sitting at the back, I get a piece of paper and I write a message for Muka. And then I fold it, I make it gibberish and lock it with a key. And then I move it across. Meaning, if you don't have a key to open that encryption, you can't get it until it reaches the destination and then they open it. So in layman's language, that's what cryptography is all about. You've got a message or information, you scramble it, and then since you're using public media, let's say internet, you move it across, and another party across will get it and just decrypt it and see what's contained in that information. In terms of cryptocurrencies, in particular Bitcoins, they still don't have all the properties of fiat currency, like the unit of account. They're used as a medium of exchange because you can use them to buy that pizza. So they qualify to be used as a medium of exchange, but as a store of value, they're too volatile. As we saw from the videos, the volatility of Bitcoin in particular has been very unstable. Sometime in 2017, it went as high as almost 20,000, but as of today, it's about $4,800. In terms of the properties, cryptography, like I mentioned, in layman's language is just encrypting information traveling across public media. But as we talked about earlier, we talked about the private and the public key. And to just summarize that, a private key is usually owned by an individual. A public key is what the public can see. So if I have that piece of paper and I've put the message there and I want to transmit it across, once I scramble it and I lock it, it goes across. The only person who can look at that information is somebody who has a public key that's matching and can open it. So it's the same concept with a key and lock. In terms of our current position in cryptocurrencies, according to investing.com, we have over 2,526 as at yesterday cryptocurrencies. And the variants of those cryptocurrencies are dependent mostly on their properties. And I'll try just a little bit to allude to the properties of cryptocurrencies, and that's why we have so many of them. And that won't end at 252. There are programmers who are still trying to come up with better ways of reducing the blockchain type, reducing the way of mining, using a proof of concept of stake of work, and all those properties. With better properties, you get better currencies. In terms of the bank's position, the bank issued a statement late last year, and there was another statement from Securities and Exchange Commission. And both those statements are similar. They are cautionary statements. They're saying crypto is here to stay. It's a global village. It's being transacted on the internet. And like you saw in earlier videos, people, even locally here, are transacting in cryptocurrencies. So it's the force we can stop, but we can find a way of embracing it and probably put in guidelines. But we can only do that when we understand all this technology and the platforms on which they operate. So in terms of public sensitization, we're trying to tell the masses what are cryptocurrencies, what are not cryptocurrencies. So in terms of cryptocurrencies, they're being referred to as financial assets. So just like any other asset, you can own cryptocurrencies and can be alluded to as an asset. It's virtual currency, which uses cryptography, and it's on a decentralized blockchain which is a ledger and it has no central authority. Cryptocurrency, on the other hand, is not the blockchain. The blockchain is the technology on which cryptocurrency resides and operates. And the blockchain at the moment is being used for a lot of important things which we'll talk to as we go on and on. But locally, what we've seen is people trying to use cryptocurrencies at the front are using this jargon and the technology to entice people to get on board. Most of them have no adverts in the press, so you won't find them advertising. They won't have any commercials running on TV, and then you find that most of these networks are just going through families and friends. You find that, okay, I know this site, or I know this organization which is investing in cryptocurrencies, so if I put in this much, my return is this much. And because some setup are close to Ponzi schemes, you find that, yeah, they'll give you the returns for the first couple of cycles. But after the first couple of cycles, it's not sustainable because you're giving too much returns. So the earlier people who join, who get on board, will get their returns. But after that, you find that the whole scheme just vanishes and people go away. Some of them we know are claiming to have up to about 400% profits in 200 working days. But the catch is they'll tell you, okay, invest a minimum of $500. We'll keep your money for 30 days, and then you start earning interest. And you find that the first people who join those schemes, they'll get their returns. And then they'll spread that good news to all their family and friends and church members. And you find that people now start flocking to those institutions trying to invest.